A very good morning and Yan Ravinaka to all of you. As I normally do with my speeches, just allow me to say a few words in Tauke language to acknowledge the landowners on which land we gather and celebrate today. Waturang sa katigoy nandunumay, wasa na nganturang na Suva, kanto kay sa katigo na nememimay songo juga na namuni soso na singin kuha, na kinamay garabiti kay ndona boseka, membaleti kandana lewiviti. So just thanking the chief of this land, the Suva, for allowing us to meet here today. To the board chairman of Consumer Council of Fiji, Mr. Muhammad Kani, the board of directors of the Consumer Council, Chief Executive Officer Sima Shandil, the members of the diplomatic corps that may be here, representatives of all the consumer groups, students, Yan Ravinaka, and members of the media. It is of course a great pleasure for me to be here today as we mark World Consumer Rights Day, a day that calls us to champion fair, safe and sustainable markets. This year's theme, a just transition to sustainable lifestyles, inspires us to act decisively and make a lasting impact. For Fiji, this means balancing economic progress with conservation and ensuring no community or no Fijians are left behind. Our islands stand on the front lines of the climate crisis. Rising seas erode our coastlines, cyclones devastate our villages and coral reefs. The lifeblood of our oceans fade before our very eyes. Yet, in these trials lies our strength. Fiji has always turned adversity into opportunity. Today, we seize that opportunity to forge a future where sustainability and equity are non-negotiable. A just transition demands bold leadership and inclusive action. Let us listen to the fisherwoman in Laos, whose nets grow emptier with the warming seas, the farmer in Nandariwatu battling unpredictable rains, and the youth in Suva demanding a future where nature thrives. Their voices must guide our policies. A just transition demands equity. Coastal villages like those in Kandavu and Laos, reliant on fishing and farming, need tools to adapt. Indigenous practices such as tambu marine conservation or organic root crop farming offer timeless solutions. Integrating these practices with modern policies protects our people and, of course, the planet. Yesterday was a day of history in Parliament, where the Access to Funding Bill passed unanimously, a win for Fiji's green future. The legislation is more than just ink on paper. It is a lifeline for our MSMEs and cooperatives, empowering them to meet the global demand for ethical, sustainable goods. Consider the Suva cooperative using a low-interest loan to install solar dryers for coconut processing, slashing emissions while delivering eco-friendly products. Or the Nadi startup transitioning to biodegradable packaging through a government grant. These are not isolated successes. These are a blueprint for a market that respects both people and the planet, the essence of consumer rights. Micro, small, and medium enterprises employ about 60% of our workforce. They are not just businesses, they are families, dreams, and innovators rolled into one. Yet many struggle to adopt sustainable practices due to limited resources. To our MSMEs, the Access to Funding Bill is your tool to lead this transition. A just transition means ensuring that MSMEs are empowered to embrace sustainable practices that enhance their profitability and environmental conservation. This is progress, but progress demands accountability. We will strengthen consumer laws to punish greenwashing and reward genuine sustainability. Every purchase is a vote. When you choose Fijian made, whether it's Mbula coffee, ethically sourced beans, or Pacific Greens recycled packaging, you support local jobs and sustainability. However, we cannot expect consumers to make these choices alone. The government is partnering with retailers to create an environment where sustainable options are accessible and affordable. This means providing incentives for green businesses, investing in local supply chains, and strengthening consumer education programs. As we discuss sustainability, we cannot ignore the power of digital transformation. And I see the big boss for M-Pesa here. Digital platforms have revolutionized business operations in Fiji, allowing MSMEs to reach global markets, reduce operational costs, and optimize resources. For you students, you will have seen that Google has decided to invest in Fiji. They are building 4 major cables, submarine cables into Fiji. What does that mean for you? There'll be potentially a lot more ICT related jobs in the future, in Fiji's future. So for those of you that are ICT or IT computer inclined, I encourage you to continue. And for those of you who have not made up your mind, it might be worthwhile to look at a profession or a career in IT. You would also seen the advent of Starlink, which is a low orbital satellite, which is faster, starting to gain traction around Fiji. Some of our villages that never used to have access are now starting to have access. What that means is they can sell their yangona, their mats, imbe, whatever, online. And so in terms of the digital transition, aiding with the just transition, Fiji is very confident that in the years to come there will be certainly continued enhancement in this area. By integrating e-commerce and digital platforms and blockchain technology for supply chain transparency, we can empower consumers as well to make informed choices while promoting fair trade practices. The government and government and private sector collaboration is crucial in ensuring that digital inclusion reaches even the most remotest of communities so that no one is left behind in this transition. We also understand that effective policies and governance frameworks are essential to Fiji's transition to sustainability. One critical aspect is the empowerment of local communities through community-based management of natural resources. When communities are given ownership and decision-making power over their land, forests, and marine resources, sustainability efforts are more effective and long-lasting. Success hinges on unity, of course. Communities must lead with resource management, like the Maduata and Golingoli Guardians protecting our reefs. Internationally, we are endeavoring to secure more climate funds for projects such as mangrove restoration in the river Delta and solar microgrids across the maritime islands and the Azores. I thought also I'd just share with you some other developments that are happening in the country, particularly for you young, to understand that certainly with the new government we are trying to push hard in shifting Fiji. And by that I mean You're probably aware or not aware that only 60% of our energy comes from renewable energy, and that's the Manoa hydro. Not much happened. The Manoa hydro was built in the late 80s. Since then, there hasn't been much movement in that space. You will see in the next few months, over the next year or so, that there'll be an accelerated push towards renewable energy. So most likely you will see EFL come out with more solar projects, more hydro-based projects, and that is an attempt as we move in the green transition, we actually shift to renewable energy. What does that mean? We won't depend on fuel, which is one of the biggest pollutants, as we know. And if we can get to 100%, I think the target is by 2035, I think, to get to 100% renewable. I think we would have gone a long way to transforming our country in the just transition. The other thing that the government is focusing on as well is looking at a circular economy. If you don't know what circular economy is, some of you might know. It's where nothing goes to waste. Everything is either reduced, reused, or recycled. And on the left, sitting on my left, is the advocate in Fiji for recycling, and he can tell you lots of stories about what we are trying to do. But I'm genuinely hoping that over the next 2 to 5 years, Fiji can transition totally into a circular economy where nothing gets wasted, plastics gets recycled. Good news is private sector is already moving. I know of one company that's it's already invested in recycling plastics and tires. They'll probably make an announcement in the next few months. There's another company that's going to look at waste diesel. So all the diesel waste from all the EFL generators, the buses, the whatever, machines, we can recycle and use them again. So these are the types of philosophies that we are moving towards as a country. That means that there will be more jobs in the green economy, as alluded to by Seema. And so for those of the young ones in the room, you have a bright future ahead of you in terms of where the country is headed. So I thought I'd just share that on this particular day, and because you're here, just to sort of give you a feel for where your government is headed. Probably just as a final thing, one of the things that we've been working hard with Seema and the team and also FCCC on is the national food standards, or looking at food standards across the country. I'm sure as part of the just transition, we want to make sure that everything we eat is fit for human consumption. Sadly, some of the items we get into Fiji fall into the not so fit for human consumption category. So there's a big exercise going on there. The plan is to ultimately change the laws, make them more stricter, so that when there's abuse, we actually pull up people that don't respect the laws. And so that way we can really, as we transition into greener economy, recycling, we also ensure that the standards of food that our people are consuming, particularly with the challenges we have with NCDs, is of good standard. So with those few words, it's an honor to be here today to commemorate World Consumer Rights Day. I trust that today will be an educational day for all of you, particularly the young ones in the room. And thank you for your attention. God bless you, particularly for you young ones. God bless you in your schooling and your careers and into your future. But just know that the government is working hard to build a future that you can inherit. It'll be much better and much brighter for Fiji. Thank you for your attention. May God bless us all, and may God bless Fiji as well.